Good, Dr. Joe here. So, there is a habit that is seemingly innocuous, okay, seemingly innocent, but is harmful to your health in the long run. And that is what I'm going to be talking about in this very video. And for those of us who have high blood pressure as a problem, this very habit is particularly important. So please pay attention to this very video because it will benefit you, okay, if you've got high blood pressure. So why might this very habit, which is pretty rife in the population, why might this very habit be harmful to your health in the long run? Let's have a look at some of the reasons why, okay? So here we go. This is the habit. I'm going to name the habit, but for now, let's talk about the reasons why it might be harmful to your health. So first thing is that this very habit does raise your risk of developing high blood pressure, okay? That is almost a given. This very habit does contribute to your problem of high blood pressure. What else? Well, this habit also raises your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, okay? Type 2 diabetes, definitely. Always remember that there's a very nice interlink between type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, which I talk about in my book. So, what else? Well, this very habit does also raise your risk of developing high amount of visceral fat, okay? What I've said here is high adiposity. Adiposity refers to fat content. And the one we are concerned about is not the fat you see, the fat underneath the skin. No, not that one. It is the visceral fat, because the visceral fat is inflammatory, okay? So, what else? Well, this very habit also raises your risk of heart disease, okay? And this habit also increases your risk of cognitive decline, which can eventually lead to Alzheimer's or dementia in later life. I'm not saying this is the cause, but it does contribute. So what else? Well, this very habit also does increase your risk of developing mood disorders, okay, like depression, okay, when the mood is low. This habit does contribute to that. What else? Well, this very habit can also lead to DNA damage. So, the next question is, what is this very habit? What is it? Well, it is sedentary behavior, okay? Sedentary behavior. So, the question then arises, what is actually sedentary behavior? Let's have a look at that, because there are a couple of criteria that sedentary behavior actually fit into, okay? So, let's have a quick look at both, or four of them actually, not just two. The first thing to say is that, the literature tells me that sedentary behavior is in about 31%, okay, 31% of the population. This is a really conservative figure. It's much higher, okay, as you probably know. So, what constitutes sedentary behavior? The first thing is, sitting, reclining, or being recumbent. Being recumbent means you're lying down. If you're doing any of these three, sitting, reclining, or being recumbent, lying down, you are sedentary. Next, if you're doing any activity, okay, if you're doing any activity that requires very little energy expenditure, then you're also being sedentary. What else? Well, if you are not engaging in what I call low to moderate intensity exercise activity that will constitute more than 150 minutes per week, you are sedentary. So if it is less than 150 minutes per week of low to moderate exercise activity, you are being sedentary. What else? Well, if we're talking about steps, if you're doing less than 4,000 steps a day, you're also being sedentary. So these are the things, okay, the pigeonholes for sedentary behavior, okay? All four of them. If you're doing any of this, if you're guilty of any of this, then obviously you are engaging in sedentary behavior. And you need to change this, because this is very important for the management of your high blood pressure. And I talk about that in my book, because there's a whole chapter on exercise. You need to move your body. If you want to manage your blood pressure very well, you need to move your body. Okay? So that is the essence of this very video. The message I want to pass on here is the fact that we need to move our body if we want to bring our blood pressure down. Okay? So hopefully you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. Questions, comments down below. That's it for this video. Until next time, this is Dr. Joe signing out.